So vertical farming consists of growing crops in a controlled environment with stacked layers with hydroponic plants, and this technique uses an inert soil, for example gravel, and circulates nitrogen-rich water here. And this technique has a potential to make a considerable contribution with regards to vegetables and fruits and herbs and tubers, plants that are, well, most kind of non-cereal plants. The potential here to save land is quite remarkable. So, as an example, a vertical farm can produce lettuce in 1/80th of the land use of a traditional farm. 1/80, 1/80. It's also, furthermore, since this system is a closed loop, you can reduce runoff into the environment to essentially zero, because you have the nitrogen, it's circulating, it doesn't end up in the sewers and so on. You still need some pesticide because it's very difficult to control an environment to get rid completely of pests, but you need much less pesticide. And more importantly, the pesticide that is being used in this environment can be prevented from leaking out to the environment and coming into contact with non-pest insects and marine animals. And it also reduces water use by a lot, by a factor of 90 as well. The problems here is that this requires a lot of energy, much more energy than traditional farming. So if you get most of this energy from fossil fuels, the ecological impact will be largely negative. But if you use it from fossil-free fuels, solar, wind, or nuclear, or hydro, then you can have major ecological improvements relative to traditional farms. It's also particularly attractive for countries that are water scarce and that have scarce farmland. Because another thing that you can do with this technology is that you can source your plants from environments that are otherwise not interesting from an ecological point of view, like an old parking lot, an abandoned mine, those kind of places. So the potential here is that you could, if it could be used for vegetables, fruits, and so on, you could reduce the impact by 1 or 2 orders of magnitude in terms of land, and completely eliminate eutrophication. Of course, the limits to this technology, and we've in the last few years seen a large wave of bankruptcies in the vertical farming sector, which I believe points to I think it indicates that this technology is not mature yet. Energy efficiency in lighting needs to improve by at least 1 order of magnitude, but it's also another limiting condition is that it requires a lot of expensive labor, but here is a field where automation could make a big difference.